Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Armin. This is a Shoei R1400 and I finally got a dark smoke tinted visor, as you can see here, which I think really makes this helmet now look complete. I say finally because we are at the time of recording in the first half of 2021 that is, and there seem to be some supply chain issues with the visors for Shoeis. They're popping up at different dealers, Revzilla, Sport Bike, Track Gear, etc., Amazon, but they're still a little bit hard to get. Interesting little fact here on the side, it says on the visor made in the USA, so I really don't know why it's so hard to get those in the US right now. As Shoei is rolling out slowly the visors, they announced a couple of the very basic visors already on their American website, but I did some more research and there are more visors for these helmets and of course also the hopefully soon to be released race helmets coming out. So I wanted to use the opportunity, show you how this dark smoke looks on this prologue graphic, which I think just makes it really look badass. And go with you through the other visors that are coming up, show you the similar visors that I already have, and explain you a little bit how dark they are, which ones maybe to go for, so you have a little bit more of an overview over the Shoei CWR F2 visor overview, which ones to get, which ones to expect. Let's dive right in. Have a quick look at this helmet right now with the dark smoke visor. I think the look is really complete because it's a dark helmet and it really makes it more of a whole unit. Let us go onto the Shoei Japan website and see what they got in stock for us. Alright, let's have a look. Going to the headquarters website shows us what they might be rolling out into different zones soon. We have here the CWR F2 shields with yen prices, which is roughly like 1 to 100. So 6,600 is roughly $66. Okay, let's dive into the first group of shields. These are the shields that are available in the United States right now as well, with an exception. One thing that's interesting to see is Shoei has, in Japan at least, available 4 different gray tones, from the clear visor that comes in the box to a mellow smoke, to a smoke, to a dark smoke. As you have seen earlier in this video, the dark smoke is on my Shoei RF1400 right now. Then there is a smoke and a mellow smoke. So one of them is usually not available. I've not seen that. The mellow smoke looks very light, and then the smoke is usually like a middle that we can get here. I quickly went to Amazon.com to just see what visors are available here. So you have the clear visor that comes in the box. You have the dark smoke one and the mellow smoke are the options available. Going back to Shoei website, the one option that's not available is the smoke, which is I think probably a pretty sexy option that is not as dark as the dark smoke. The options available right now in the US, clear, mellow smoke, dark smoke, and also the yellow. The yellow is one that you see very rarely on the streets. This one is really just contrast enhancing. It helps you in low light situations. If your commute goes through foggy trees where you have to spot every leaf and maybe bumps in the road, this might be your shield. But in reality you see this very rarely on the street. And so the most popular options for sure are the clear one, comes in the box, and the dark smoke one. For the dark smoke one, a lot of people think, oh my god, this looks really dark in the pictures, but I like that Shoei actually photographed this against a transparent background. Right earlier in the video you have seen it with my helmet. It looks super dark because there's no light in the helmet, so from the outside it looks very dark. However, when you look through it, the dark smoke is actually a little bit less tinted than a pair of Ray-Bans. I think my Ray-Bans are darker, and this one actually lets you see quite a bit more light through it. The other option, right, the Mellow Smoke, is pretty much a see-through with just like a super light tint. So if you just want a basic tinted visor, go for the dark smoke, and I think you will be happy. Also cool, you can see, right, it has the vertex generators in here. But anyway, let's jump to the other group of visors. We have the first mirror shield. So jumping into the first mirror shield one, I don't know why this has its own category. You will see there's another one just coming up. But one thing that's really cool on the Japanese website, right, it actually shows you it's a soft smoke mirror shield. Meaning it is as dark as the soft smoke, so not as dark as the dark smoke, but it also has a reflective coating on top. I have the same soft smoke mirror shield, which is just like the silver mirror in US, right here on this X14. And I really like the look, right, especially with black helmets. Like I said, they are a little bit less dark. And also one thing to keep in mind, the mirror finish chips really easily. I use this on a racetrack and I just got a couple of chips. You follow a bike, you directly get chips into your coating. So keep that in mind, they are less rigid than the normal smoked visors. They look really cool, right? They reflect the sun. They are not as dark looking from the outside through it, but also when the sun really hits it in the right angle, you don't see any eyes, you don't see the rider inside there, and I think it makes for a really cool look. Because of the extra coating, when you have a lot of lights, car lights, street lights, you will have some reflection sometimes in that. So if you ride in an area where there's a lot of lights or there's something bothers you, the non-mirror shielded visors will be easy on your eyes. But yeah, this is the silver one, will be also available for the future helmets. Moving on, the smoke mirror shields. So that's interesting. I finally see the difference, right? So we have the soft smoke here. So the silver one is only a soft smoke. And these three are a little bit darker, right? Like if you remember from the smoke shields earlier, this is the one in the middle. Not as dark as the dark smoke, but a little bit darker than the silver shield. So there you go. Would be nice if Shoei would just put it into a list, but at least we have now a comparison here. There we have the blue one, we have the gold one, and we have the fire orange. The Shoei visors are not as extreme as the ones from AGV. I will put a picture here. The AGV ones have this really dark, rich colors which look amazing, and I wish Shoei would have upped their game a little bit for the new visors, but it seems like they stayed with the colors that existed for the previous helmets already, which makes it easier for me to show you the colors, because I have already some of the visors for the previous one. So to give you a comparison, let's get this one out. All right, here we have the fire orange smoke one, and it's very likely that this will look very similar on the Shoei AR14 and the CWR F2 variant of this visor. Let me pop this onto the helmet so you can see the difference, right? When you just hold it, it looks like this. If you have a dark background, it looks like this. I hope the camera picks up the different light from the different angles. Sometimes you can look slightly through the helmet, but if the light just hits it right, you will have this golden orange fire finish, and it looks pretty badass as well. From the sides, it gets a little bit more blue. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but depending on the angle, the mirror looks a little bit different. From the very side, a little bit blue. Straight on, it's very golden red. Again, not as crazy as the colors from AGV. I wish Shoei would have stepped up their game a little bit, but these still look pretty cool. This is the fire orange one. There's also a golden one that is only the gold part, and then there's also a blue one for all you BMW riders or Yamaha fans if you have something fitting for your bikes. But they will look very similar in the fit and finish and how reflective and dark they are. Again, also for those, they chip extremely easy. If you use them on track, it's very hard to avoid stone chips, but also on the streets, keep in mind they chip just very, very easy. If you are someone that is picky about that, this might be not the right visor for you. They look very cool, but they're a little bit more fragile. All right, next category. This is the last one, the CWR-F2 photochromic shield. Like the name says, this is a photochromic shield, so when it gets exposed to UV, aka sunlight, the shield will transition from completely clear to a smoked visor. It doesn't get as dark as a dark smoked visor, so I would guess the maximum amount of how dark this visor gets is probably comparable to a smoked normal visor. The nice thing, of course, with this visor is it transitions, right? If you're right at night, it will be clear, you see everything well. If the sun is coming out, it will tint itself. Problem with this guy is it's around $200 US, which is a lot of money. You could buy 3 tinted visors and keep your clear visor that you get in a box with it and just be happy and ride probably for many years. Swap out the visors when they get scratched or damaged and you're good. This one is an investment. You will have everything in one visor. You don't have to change. So if you're someone that commutes every day, right? Like you maybe start early in the morning when the sun is just out, you want the tinting, and then you come back late at night when it's dark. Maybe this is the visor for you. It's for me a little bit of a hefty investment. I like to rather just like get a little $20 visor bag, shove the extra visor somewhere into my bike, and then just swap them if I need it, because that way I can keep them fresh. If you clock some scratches, you just pay $60, get a new one. With a $200 visor, every scratch will hurt 3-4 times as bad. So your call, it's what the visor is doing. I'm not a big fan of it, but let me know in the comments below. Maybe you use one of those. What do you use it for? And do you like it maybe on previous helmets? All right, and that is the overview. So right now we are in the first half of 2021 and only these 4 visors are available right now in the United States. As we have seen from the Shoei Japan websites, the mirrored finishes that were also available for the X14 and the Shoei RF1200 are likely to become available pretty soon for the US market and other markets to follow. So I hope this gives you a little bit overview of how dark they are, how they look like, right? I showed you the dark visor, the clear visor, and 2 of the mirrored ones. Let me know in the comments below if you have any more questions, how they feel like, how they look like in different lights, or how much you see. I'm happy to answer your questions in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching, have a good ride, and enjoy your helmets. Bye for now. Bum chicka 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 bounce cow, bum chicka 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 bounce cow.